guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do a product review, something a little different for me. I am going to be reviewing the Dark Blooms palettes by ColourPop. I recently got these palettes. It's a collection of 3 palettes, all different color schemes, and we went through them today. We created this look with these colors, and if you're wanting to see how it all shook out, stick around. Thanks so much for watching. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prep our eyelids. You can do that a couple of different ways. You can do it with an eyeshadow primer, or you can just use your foundation in my case, or concealer. In my case, I'm just going to use my foundation. So if you're new here, I love trying all different types of beauty and skincare products. My foundation never changes. Every time I switch it, I always come back to Saint Beauty's 3D foundation. It is my ride or die. I've been using it for about 4 years, and I'll just never stray. Look how glowy and beautiful it is. I'll never leave it. It's my favorite. So I'm just gonna use that in a small brush. This is called the BBF. And I'm gonna lay some foundation on my lids to cancel the veins and give myself a nice clean canvas to work with. And I'll put all my shades and stuff in the description of this video and how you can get this foundation as well. It's 100% custom to you, which makes it really nice. Okay. All right, so you can see how quickly that canceled out my veins and darkness. And then I'm gonna go ahead and set it with just some translucent powder and a fluffy brush. And then we're gonna look at these palettes and see what we wanna work with today. So I have all 3. These are their 9-pan palettes, and the entire collection cost me about $40. So let's take a look at what we have here. They're beautifully packaged, very good weight to them. Look how pretty. There we go. It's hard to get it focused. So this is the Baroque palette, and it is very cool toned. If you can see, all nice cool tones. There's a couple of really beautiful shimmers. Some of these have some really beautiful duochromes, and then there's a black down here that has some kind of blue silvery shift to it. So this is really beautiful. I love seeing a good cool tone palette because warm tone palettes are so popular. So it's nice to have a nice cool tone palette in your arsenal. So that's that one. And then this one is Grandeur, or Grandeur. Maybe I'm not saying it right. Maybe I'm not fancy enough. It's beautiful. I love the flowers on this one. These little flowers here, they're called pansies, but my grandmother called them funny faces. So every time I see them, I have a good memory. So this is a really warm tone palette. Actually, it's more on the neutral side. It's really pretty. And this here is a pressed glitter. So you have several mattes, several shimmers, a pressed glitter. These are beautiful. I'm gonna set this one aside because I think we might play with that one, but we'll see. And then this one's Ornate. Of the packaging, this one's my favorite. Look how pretty those reds are. It gives you a hint as what might be inside. Really pretty. Super warm tone palette. We might jump between these 2 here. Okay, I have something in mind. So let's get started. I think I'm gonna use this one here. These are really beautiful. They're all warm tones. There's no pressed glitters, but lots of shimmers. And each palette has a black tone, which I actually really appreciate a black in a palette because it is so versatile to have. You're not only using it to deepen outer corner colors, you can use it as eyeliner. It's just a great thing to have in a palette. So if you're ever shopping for palettes, try to find one that has a good matte black in it or a black period. So what are we gonna do? Let's see. I think I'm gonna start with this shade here. It's kind of it is a yellow. It's called Siren. So I'm gonna take that on the fluffy end of my brush here and dip it in. And we're gonna use that to kind of carve out my crease and define the shape of my eye. So I'm just gonna relax my eye and just take it along. Now you notice I have some movement in my lid. I am 38, if I have not mentioned that in previous videos, so I'm starting to get a little movement in my lids. That's okay, that's how it goes. So I am not going to windshield wiper like crazy and do all the things you might see some other creators doing, because it doesn't work for my eye shape and my skin type, I guess you'd call it. So I'm just gonna kind of tap that in place and move it around. It is such a pretty color. This is beautiful. I don't think I have a yellow in my collection, period. Well, I do now, but I don't think I had it. This is really pretty. So I'm just laying it, and I might swish a little bit here just to kind of move the product around. Really pretty. And I'm not building up the color an awful lot. I'm just gonna kind of keep it muted. I don't want a overly dramatic look. I'm looking for something very wearable, very everyday, very you can do it yourself. So we've got some nice color there. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the other lid. And I'm just gonna move gently, tracing my eyeball really. Especially if you have hooded eyes, you do not want to point your brush into your crease. You're gonna lose the color once you open your eye and relax it. I'm gonna build this side up a little bit to match. Those folks that really enjoys doing my eyeshadow first, just so I can get messy and do kind of whatever I want and not worry about the edges being perfect. I can just clean it up with my foundation and concealer, but that's not the case today because I actually did some filming for IGTV. If you're not following me on Instagram, I will put my handle here, and you can certainly go ahead over to Instagram and give me a follow. Just blending out my edges there. Perfect. I really like the way that that laid on, just nice, easy, no big deal. I think we're gonna stick in this palette and use the color Tipsy. It looks like a rich brown as our outer corner color. Okay, so I'm gonna use my mirror here. I'm just gonna tap off my extra, making sure I don't put too much on, and I'm gonna just start tapping it into the outer corner. It's a very rich, warm brown. And like I said, I'm not going for a bold outer corner. We're just going to work in small spaces, and then I'm gonna take my brush and kind of stay in the natural shape of my eye. I'm not sweeping it deeply into the crease. You can certainly do that, and it will just help define your crease. I'm kind of staying in that outer corner and moving softly. Okay, just gonna grab a little more of that color and come on the outer corner of this eye here. Remember, working with your eyes open. And if you have to kind of, because we have the looser skin, you can go ahead and do that. No one's gonna judge you here. And then again, just more working into small motions and blend that puppy out. I'm gonna build up this side just a bit. In that outer V kind of area, you really are making a V, that small area in your eye. Depends on your eye shape, but it's a very small motion, that outer corner. You're not really packing on a lot of swishing around and all the things, you know? And I really do like stippling if you have looser skin on your lids, so if you're not young and with forgiving lids, try stippling your eyeshadow on, just kind of moving the product with your brush in small circular motions. I'm gonna pick up a tiny bit more of that Siren color, which was our transition, and I'm gonna use that to blend my outer corner. These are very pigmented, and I will go ahead and swatch the colors we've used today. Really pretty. And then I like to take that translucent powder or even a cream colored shadow and just come up here and blend out your edges. What this does is it allows for forgiveness. If you are not the best blender, if you're having trouble getting that clean gradient, sometimes using a shade like this one here, it's called Cupcake by Saint Beauty, Kind of just helps you soften your edges a little bit without having to worry about doing all the extra work of blending. So now we're just gonna pick our shimmery color. So we have a warm brown, we have a warm yellow, so I wanna stick in the warm family. I'm gonna look between these two palettes. And I think we're gonna jump over to the Grandeur palette and grab this one. It's called House, but spelled with a U. This is kind of fancy. So I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna use my finger. I love using my finger for shimmer shadows. Here's the reason. It really packs on the pigment and allows me precision with where I'm placing it. So I'm gonna just take it. Oh yeah, it's so pretty. And just softly blend it over my lid. And then we'll fix our edges with our brush in a minute. Look how beautiful that is. Soft, just really pretty. ColourPop, I'm telling you, you did a really good job on these. Their shadows that I've ever tried have always been consistently good quality. Low fallout, high pigment, blendable, wearable shades, just really usable. And then I'm just gonna take my brush and blend over my edges and my transitions here. And then let's go ahead and add this shade here. It's called Gilded, to our inner corner. And then we're gonna use one of the darker shades for liner. How's that? Okay, so I'm gonna grab the black in this palette. This one again is Ornate and it's called Dream. I'm gonna take a small detail brush. This is the Multitasker brush by Saint. And I'm just gonna run it into my lashes to thicken them out. So pretty. All right, let's run Siren under our lash line here. I'm gonna switch my brush real quick. Gonna go over to just a small, tiny little detail brush here. And we're gonna start with that transition on the bottom lash line. And I'm gonna kind of stick to the outer corner for my under eye colors. I really want to lift. I'm just gonna blend that softly into the lash line. Tying our upper lid with our lower. And then I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of that Tipsy, which is what we put on our outer corner. And I'm gonna keep that really to the outer corner. Again, giving myself that lift and connection with what's going on the top. Taking the other end of this brush, if you haven't noticed, I really like double-ended tools. I find them super versatile and easy to use, and I enjoy things that save me space, hence my one compact makeup. We live in a super small house in the country, and we tend to need space savers. I'm just gonna clean that liner brush off a little bit, grab a little bit of that Gilded color, and just kind of run it under here to kind of tie it all in. And grab a clean brush here. Always have clean brushes on hand. I tend to have a whole cup full. I'm gonna take, again, that Gilded color right up here. Highlight my brows that need to be done ever so badly. And then we're just gonna do a final blend with a clean brush. I typically will always have 2 or more eyeshadow brushes on hand. I have 2 of these. One usually will always remain clean, so I can just do any final cleanup I want to do. Check my work here. Make sure there's no fallout. I don't see any. But if I do, I can just fluff it away. And this is it. This is the final look with our Dark Blooms palette. So let's go ahead and swatch the colors that we used. So we used Siren. Let's deepen that up a little bit. Nope. Tipsy. I love that brown. Look how pretty that is. You could do a look with just the two and be so, like, just solid. We used Gilded out of Ornate. And then we jumped over to Grandeur to do House. Ugh, dead. It's so beautiful. Look at that color. Look at that color. This one here. So beautiful. But these are the colors that we used on this simple, muted, everyday eye look. I hope it was helpful for you. I appreciate every single one of you for watching. If you have any suggestions for future videos, drop them in the comments. Other products you want me to see me use. If you have any questions about the products used or shown in this video. Again, my name is Amanda, and I hope you guys have a great day.